I hope you're having a good afternoon. I am Anton Black, and I'm a graduate security engineer at Atlassian. And during the last year, I've had the opportunity to work in the bug bounty program run by Atlassian. So that's what this talk is about. So a couple of questions. Who knows what a bug bounty program is? Hands up. Nice. Who is currently involved with running a bug bounty program? Cool. And who has bugs in their software that they don't yet know about? Yes. Well, fortunately, a bug bounty program can help you there. Now, since I am going to be talking to you for the next 20 minutes, here's a bit about me. I'm very much into programming, and I previously worked as a software engineer. But in the last few years, I've entered the fascinating world of security. So now I do a bit of both. I write software to improve Atlassian security, and in this way, I ended up in the bug bounty. Also, I like to draw, so that is very fun. Now, you may have heard this advice around the security community lately and wondered what it was all about. Or maybe you heard that all of these companies run bug bounties and that it's generally considered a good idea. So let's talk about this. What is a bug bounty and why might you want to run one? So this is what it is. It's a formal program where two things happen. One, researchers find bugs in your software and they bring them to you and they tell you about it. And two, you pay them for the hard work of doing so. So the security researchers here are like bounty hunters, going out and hunting for bugs and bringing them back to you for a bounty reward. And there are a lot of reasons why you might want to run a program like this. Firstly, people are going to attack your software anyway because there are always curious people out there who like breaking things. This is the internet. But when you run a bug bounty, you're adding an economic incentive for this to happen on your own terms. You're increasing the chance that the first person to find a bug in your software will be one of your friendly white hat hackers, the bounty hunters who you've hired, and not people who are actually trying to cause damage. So it shifts things to your favor. It gives you a chance to find and fix these bugs before they're ever exploited. Secondly, if you invite a penetration tester to come into your office and take a look at your products, you're getting the perspective of one person. But what if instead you could get the perspective of multiple people all around the world? Well, with the bug bounty program, you can do exactly that. Because when you make your bug bounty public to the world, you're entering a global marketplace of security researchers worldwide who are looking for interesting bug bounty programs to join, and they may join yours. Not only that, but bounty hunters are often specialists in a particular technology. For example, in the Atlassian bounty, we have a researcher who has this talent for Git and Mercurial argument injection. And another one is really, really good at Docker container escapes. And the reason we're able to work with these specialists is because we've publicly advertised that if they find flaws in our software that use these technologies that they specialize in, we will pay them money. In other words, we run a bug bounty, and that's how we're able to work with these specialists. Not only that, but if you run a bug bounty, it can help your products become certified with popular standards like NIST or ISO 27001, because running a bug bounty is a form of vulnerability testing, which these standards accept. So get your product certified, run a bug bounty. Lastly, if you take the bugs that are submitted to your bounty and you actually fix them in your software, you'll end up with software that is less buggy, more secure, and which your customers can trust. So yeah, running a bug bounty is this fantastic idea, and you should definitely do it. But just because it's a good idea doesn't mean that it's easy to do. So I'm next going to talk about some of the challenges and problems you may encounter while running your own bug bounty. And I will also discuss practical solutions you can take to deal with these problems. All right, first things first. When you want to start a bug bounty, you have to choose a bounty platform to run it on. And by platform, I mean a service that's going to give you all the admin stuff related to a bounty. For example, the public website where people submit bugs, the database that will store related data, the payment system to pay the researchers, and so on. Now, you can roll your own, but I really, really recommend that you choose an existing one, because it will avoid so many problems later on, things regarding filtering out invalid reports, finding researchers to help you, and also avoiding needless admin work. So first things first, choose a bounty and choose an existing bounty platform. All right, so you picked your bounty platform, good. And now you have a new problem, which is that you may not have ever run a bounty before, and you don't necessarily know how it works. And that is okay. And the way that Atlassian dealt with this problem was to start small and to limit the number of reports we initially got. And we did this by, for example, only putting 2 products on the bounty to start with, Jira Cloud and Confluence Cloud. We also made it a private program, invite only to just a few researchers, instead of making it public to the entire internet. And we also started with relatively small bounty payouts so that we could calibrate how fast money would be spent. And because of this, we were able to prevent ourselves becoming overwhelmed. It's also a great idea to set up some kind of shared channel for all your teammates to communicate. so that when someone learns something about how to run a bounty, this then can become the whole team's knowledge and everyone can benefit. The next problem is a mathematical one. When is it time to increase the amount of money that you are paying for bugs? So I just mentioned it's a good idea to start with relatively small bounty payouts so that you can calibrate your spending. And eventually you'll want to increase the payouts so that you can get more bug reports and more severe bug reports. But you only want to do that when you are ready and able to absorb this increased volume of reports. Now, a common mistake here is to try and rely on gut instinct to make the call of when it's time to do that. And we used to do that too, until our bounty king, Matt Hart, realized, he actually ran the numbers and he realized that this gut instinct check is wrong about half the time. So what we do now is we pull data from our platform and we look at things like this. In the last 90 days on this product, were there any critical bugs found? Because if there are, then whoa, slow down, there are still serious problems to fix. Don't look at other things at the moment, we need to focus on this. How about the flow rate? Is the rate of incoming bug reports faster than our development team who actually fixes the bugs can keep up with? Are they overwhelmed, are they flooded, or could they take on an increased workload? Also, how's our budget looking? Can we actually practically afford to pay out increased bounties? So all of these factors should go into your decision about when it's time to increase the bounty. Since there is so much to consider, you might even want to make some sort of payout calculator or payout dashboard that combines these factors automatically for you. And this is an example of what our payouts calculator looks like. The implication is that if you want to do something like this, you need to choose a platform that gives you an API that lets you pull out all this data, or at least it will give you some kind of report, statistics, a dashboard that you can look at to see what's going on in your bounty. Next issue, and this is also what happens when you expand your bounty. When you make your bounty public to the internet and everyone can see it, it is inevitable that you will start getting spam reports or invalid reports. In our experience, less than 1/5 of all the reports we see are actually valid. And this is quite a big problem to shoulder. Fortunately, you don't have to do it yourself. You can ask your bounty platform for their filtering services. Filtering services being when you hire the employees of the bounty platform you're using to help you filter out these invalid reports so that your staff don't have to deal with it. Also, you can use your bounty briefing page to prevent invalid reports. Now, what's a bounty briefing page? This is the public landing page, the first thing that people see when they get to your bounty, and they say, ooh, what's this? Well, you should tell them what it is, but not only tell them what it is, also tell them what kind of reports are going to be marked valid and invalid, what products are in scope, what bug types are in scope, and what is out of scope. And in this way, you can prevent these invalid reports from ever being submitted in the first place. I'm going to take, I think this is very appropriate, I'm going to take a moment to drink some water, and I highly encourage everyone else to become hydrated. So, following on from that, communication fatigue, another problem that you may encounter. So, I don't know about you, but personally I have a very limited social battery. So the huge volume of communication required in the bug bounty presents a real challenge for me. To prevent this problem becoming a problem for your staff, give them standard responses so they can use, so they can say what they need to say to the researchers, but without wearing themselves down. Here's an example of a template used by Atlassian for when a bug is resolved. And a template like this is really great because it's simple to use, you just fill in the blanks, it ensures consistency and it ensures politeness. Not only that, there is a secondary benefit when you make it easier for your staff to communicate with researchers, which is that they can do it more often. And this makes a better experience for these researchers who are helping you. So pick related, in April 2018, this year, Atlassian was awarded a Buggy Award for running BugCrowd's best overall bug bounty program. And this is our team receiving the award. And actually, yes, it is a literal bug. It's a blue morpho butterfly. And one of the reasons BugCrowd gave us this award was because of our communication with researchers. Now, you may ask, why is this single thing such a big deal? Well, look at it this way. For your organization, a bug bounty is an efficient way to do vulnerability testing, right? That's the whole point. But for the researchers, it's a lot more than that. It's their job, often their full-time job. It's their life. So considering that researchers are in a global marketplace of bug bounty programs, and they can pick and choose from bug bounty programs all around the world, what is going to attract them to your program particularly? Well, good communication certainly doesn't hurt. And also, if you can offer good communication to the researchers, you're giving them something that goes beyond monetary rewards. You're actually making their job more enjoyable. So if you can do this, your bug bounty program is going to shine and stand out in this global marketplace. And that is why it is so important to prevent communication fatigue for your staff, so that they can give this better experience to the researchers who are helping you. Now, very related to communication fatigue is decision fatigue. If your bug bounty program is forcing your staff to continually make new judgment calls on what to do all the time, then again, you're losing consistency and you're losing effort. So for this reason, a shared page of established procedures and protocols should form the core of your bug bounty program. Set this up early and add to it as soon as possible. Whenever someone needs to make a new decision that isn't covered by the existing docs, update those docs to cover this case in the future. Basically, any judgment call should only need to be made once and once only. And flowcharts are a really great way to do this. For example, this flowchart is part of a flowchart used in Atlassian for handling critical bugs. And the reason why this is so great is because when a critical bug report arrives, the last thing you want to do, and you know, the sirens are screaming and the fire alarm has gone off and everyone's running around, the last thing you want to do is to have to stop and think about what to do in this particular situation. No, it's much, much better to be able to just pull down the right flowchart, zip along, yes, no, done, and the problem is solved. So prevent this kind of thing from happening, avoid decision fatigue, and establish procedures and protocols. All right, so you've got your nice flowcharts, you've got your procedures, everything's humming along very smoothly, and then you realize you have another issue, which is that your bug bounty program has become dependent on a single researcher. And this happened at Atlassian. So this graph is showing number of bugs reported by our top 6 researchers over the last financial year. Out of 181 valid bugs reported, 51 of them, almost 1/3, were reported by a single person. Yes, one extremely very prolific researcher at the top there. And this is a very precarious position for us to be in because, you know, what if this person went on holiday for a year? What we would do? We would lose nearly 1/3 of our bug reports. We would be in quite a trouble. Part of the trouble is also that the instinctive solution is, we'll increase the bounty payouts and we'll make our program more attractive and more people will come in. Well, adding an increased bounty can get you more bug reports, sure. It doesn't necessarily get you more researchers. However, what can get you more researchers is advertising and holding public hacking events. And in fact, Atlassian did something like this last Friday and Saturday in Sydney. We invited a bunch of researchers to come to our office and hack our products for those 2 days. And there were prizes for finding cool bugs. And it worked very well, and our security has improved, and a number of researchers have now joined our program as a result. So avoid becoming dependent on a small group of researchers, advertise to widen your researcher base. Lastly, to keep your bug bounty platform in sync with your issue tracking system, where you're actually tracking the work of fixing these bugs that come in, the two systems have to be kept in sync by communicating constantly. And unfortunately, the work of doing this is both extremely necessary and has to be done, but also really, really boring, and no one wants to do it. So don't do it. Make the computer do it for you. Some of the things you might want to automate are taking the severity of a bug from your bounty platform, turning that into a due date, an SLA date for the bug, and then putting that into your issue tracking platform so that your developers know when this is due. Perhaps you also want to automatically remind them that the due date is coming up. Do you want to maybe tell the team lead that they have SLA violations in their team? Perhaps you want to tell the researcher who submitted the bug that their bug has now been fixed in production, and could they go and check it and make sure that it really has been fixed, please? So basically, all the little pings and notifications back and forth to make sure that bugs that get submitted to your bounty program are actually going to be fixed. So those are some of the challenges you may encounter while running your bug bounty program and how you might fix them. To wrap up, what are my recommendations to you? Firstly, yes, you should definitely run a bug bounty. Let me repeat. You should absolutely run a bug bounty. It has so many benefits. It's super cool. Even if you can't pay researchers for bug reports, you can still thank them, give them some public recognition, give them some branded swag, put them in a blog post, put them on your Hall of Hacking fame. At a minimum, put a page on your website saying, hello hackers, hello security researchers. If you have found bugs in our products, please report it to security@yourcompany.com. If you do decide to run a bug bounty, then don't make your own platform, choose an existing one, and choose a platform which offers filtering services against invalid reports, give you statistics and numbers so you can see what's going on in your bounty, and also gives you control via an API for automation. Once your bounty is up and running, you can prevent problems by starting small to avoid becoming overwhelmed, use those filtering services offered by the platform to cut out invalid reports, document procedures and standard responses, pull data from your platform to inform decisions that you make, such as increasing the payouts, advertise to widen your researcher base, and also automate away the boring and repetitive tasks that you don't want to do yourself. And that is all from me. I would just like to add one more thing. thing, which is that the OR on this slide is an inclusive OR. So you can check out the bonus content and send me cat pictures. And I hope you will do both.